Who am I? What am I? And where am I? Well, a lot of you may think you have the answers to those questions. The question, where am I? Maybe you would give me your address in whatever city, state, and country you live in. Maybe others of you would tell me what building you were in, or that you were in a car, or some other thing like that. So you might think you know where you are. Most people are not quite sure exactly who they are, but in answer to that question, they would most likely give you their name. Now, is that really who you are? Okay. So who am I? If you answered with your name, that may not be the right answer. Who am I? Where am I? And what am I? Most of you would answer, I'm a human being. Well, my friends, the answers to all of those questions will startle and amaze you. Because in actuality, we don't know who we are, we don't know where we are, we don't know what we are. But we're beginning to learn. Yes, science has made massive advancements over the past 20 years. And now science and spirituality are beginning to agree on a lot of things. For example, most of you know that the human body has an aura, which can be photographed with Kirlian photography. And depending on the color of your aura, that will be your state of health or state of emotions or etc. Okay, now, that gives you a clue. Now, there's an exercise that I taught in one of my podcasts. And that exercise, if you engage in it, will begin to make you realize that the question of where am I is not as cut and dried as you may think. Okay, just do this exercise for, I don't know, about 5 minutes. Just say I and point to yourself, and me and point to the air. I, me. I, me. I, me. I, me. At some point, your mind will not be sure of which is correct, whether I or me or I is the right direction where you're pointing. So just from that simple exercise alone, you can see that you don't quite know where you are. In fact, science has not been able to isolate you. Science cannot find you. Science is not quite sure where you are. They know you're somewhere, but they don't know exactly where you are. And for those scientists who say the brain, they're not up on the latest research, because the latest research can't prove that you are in your brain, and that you and your brain are synonymous, because they're not. You see, you and your brain are not synonymous. You are beyond your brain. Your brain is simply a thinking instrument that the real you uses to interact with this universe. Now, it would be more accurate to say that the real you is contained within the aura around your body. That the real you is plugged into your body through the aura, and therefore interacts with it. And that's a fairly good explanation. But you see, it goes beyond that. It goes beyond that even. That is also a local phenomenon. You see, if truth be known, you exist throughout the universe. And in fact, that's what the book, The Holographic Universe, that's a theory that it proposes, that you are actually embedded not just in the local brain, not just in the local aura, but throughout the vast universe. And you see, then you can reach the conclusion that we are all one. And that this illusion or delusion that we are separate is simply that, simply a delusion, simply something that is apparent but not true. So, you really don't know who you are. You have a body. You have a body, but you aren't your body. You aren't your body. You can touch your body. You can interact with your body, but it's not you. It's not you. So then that brings us to the other question of what am I? And if you answered a human being, you're partway right. Because you are a human being having a human experience. As you're a human soul having a human experience. Now, where is this soul thing? Is that in your aura then? Well, for a great deal of it, yes. But you see, there's still a part that is attached to everything else. So what are you? Are you a soul? Or are you a body? Or are you both? Well, you're actually both. Because your spirit or your soul interacts with the human mind and creates the personality that you are. In other words, if you were plugged into a different body, I'm talking about the spiritual you, if you were plugged into a different body, you may think and act differently. Because a lot of the thought process is an activity of the brain. So where do we find you? Well, we can find you in non-thought. We can find you in non-thought. And in the gaps between thoughts. You see, if your thoughts are the mental chatter of your brain, then your thoughts are not you, because your body's not you, and your brain's not you. So these thoughts are being generated by a physical machine. And then the spirit records it. You know, this is a vast and a fascinating subject. I could just go on and on with it. But I think this gives you a lot of things to think about. That things may not be as they appear. In fact, there is something called the eternal now. All you ever have is now. The future is an illusion. The past is an illusion. All you have is now in this very moment. So what are you doing now? What are you doing in the now, in the moment? Because that's very important. It's very important what you're doing now. So I guess we could have also asked the question, when am I? Because, this human lifespan is just an illusion too. So, as you can see, you can get really confused and really, shall we say, bunched up by thinking about these things. But this is the reality nonetheless. Now, because there is no time, and because you are eternal, then the real you, can pull information from the past, the future, and the present. So when I said yesterday that we need to be ambassadors for world peace, we can actually place ourselves in the world tomorrow and send that back here. That's a technique called time stepping. And your future self can send back a message to you, a transformative message. A transformative message. Seeing this world can be transformed from the future, even if the future on this timeline never happened, because in actuality it did, because we live in a multi-universe, a multiverse, where everything that is possible has happened in one universe or the other. So you need to think about that as well. Anyway, I just wanted this to be a thoughtful video so that you had some things to ponder, because you never know when we will not have the freedom to say such things aloud anymore. But anyway, we're saying it aloud right now for you to hear and understand. So until next time, this is M. John Allen saying goodbye, everybody.